Good morning, students, and welcome to 11th grade English. One of the first projects that we will work on this year together is called a Pen Pal project. And pen pals, this is a pen, and a pal is another word for a friend. And so pen pal means a friend that you make because you write letters and you put them in the mail and you send them. Now, I know we are still far away from each other and we're not at school yet. So, writing a letter, the reason why we're doing this, the purpose, is the first letter we will write is an introduction letter, and we will introduce ourselves to one another, and we will get to know each other, even though we're far away. Why not write an email? Why pen, right? Why write by pen on paper? Well, the reason to write with the pen on paper is because it helps people share a little bit more about who they really are. And sometimes emailing and texting, it's too short. You can't really get to know someone by emailing or texting them. But when you get a letter from someone, you really get to know who they are. When I was getting to know my husband, who in the beginning we were not husband and wife, and he lived all the way in New York, we wrote a letter to each other each week. And they were love letters, but really what made me fall in love with him and what made him fall in love with me was that in each letter that we wrote to each other, we shared who we really were, and we got to know each other well. So since we're far away and we're not in school with our bodies yet, um, not that these letters are romantic, they're not. They're just to get to know each other, but to really get to know each other. Um, and I hope that you will take the time to do that. Now, I'm going to read these directions to you. But I will say my introduction letter is 6 pages long. Oh my goodness. Yours does not have to be that long, but maybe it will be longer. I don't know. I had to take a break every couple of pages because when I was writing, my hand started to hurt and I couldn't keep writing. So I would write for a little while and then take a break and then come back and write for a little while, take a break and come back. So that's okay. Take your time. And when you write a letter, you don't need to just answer the questions. When you write a letter, you're sharing who you really are. So you can tell a story, you can tell a joke, you can give details, you can be yourself. You know, if you want to draw a picture, I'm a really bad artist. But if you like to draw, you can also draw a picture. You can make a cartoon. You make your letter your own. So today I'm going to share the beginning part of my own letter, and then you can go to Google Classroom and you can read the rest of it. Hint, there's an important surprise at the very end of my letter, so do read all the way to the end. For now, I'm going to read first the instructions. So, directions. In your pink beginning of the year folder of important materials from your teachers, you will find 3 stamped blank envelopes. They look like this. Right? You should have 3 of these in the folder that you got from all your teachers at the beginning of the school year. Keep them in a safe place where you will not lose them and they won't get dirty. Watch the video of me, number 2, watch the video of me explaining this assignment and reading part of my introduction letter. You're doing that now. Thumbs up. Number 3, read the rest of my introduction letter on your own. I'm not going to read all 6 pages. That would take too long. Number 4, write your own introduction letter to me, Miss Julia, and to the other students in our class. Other students will read your letter. It's not going to be private just for my eyes. So make sure that when you write it, you know that other students will also see what you say. Okay? Number 5, watch the video about how to mail a letter in the USA. It might be different than in your country. So I'm going to make a quick video to show you how to mail a letter. Number 6, find a post office box near where you live and mail your letter to me. This is what a post office box looks like. Yeah? Number 7, Miss Julia, that's me, I get all of your beautiful letters. Yay! Joy, joy, happy, happy. And I get to open them. When I open them and I read them, I am going to scan them with my phone. That means I'm going to take a picture of them, but a really good picture. And then I'm going to put your letters into a Google Drive folder so that you can read each other's letters. So this is the first big part of our project. Yeah? What will come next? So after everybody writes their letters the next week, yeah, I want you to think about when you're reading people's letters, I want you to think about who you connected with. And you might want to build a relationship with, a friendship with, right? Whose letter, when you were reading it, gave you some questions? Or did you feel connected to a story that someone told and it made you think of a story in your own life that was connected to them, right? So you're going to choose 3 people who, when you read their introduction letter, made you want to write a letter back to them. Choose people who you think you have something to say to. They should not be people who you already know from last year. Nobody from your old classes, no friends. Why? Because the reason why we are doing this is to get to know new people. You will always have your friends from last year. They're not going anywhere. They'll be there when we go back to school. But the reason why we're doing this is to meet new people and to get to know new people. So then I want you to complete the Google form. It's really easy, just 2 questions, to let me know 3 people who you would want to write a letter to. And then I'm going to look at your answers and I'm going to match people up. Each student will have 1 person that they are writing to. Okay? You won't write to 3 people, just 1. But I need to see a couple of choices for each person. Okay? And then you're going to write a letter to another student, and they're going to answer your letter and write a letter back to you. Someone else will also be writing a letter to you, and you will respond to them, right? That's why you have 3 envelopes, so hold on to them. Next on my instructions are a list of some questions, some ideas of things that you might want to write about as you talk about who you are. You don't have to write about all of them. You can choose which ones. You can write about all of them. Or maybe you really love one of these things and you really want to tell us all about where you grew up. That's okay too. You can also talk about completely other things. Maybe you love music and you really want to talk about your favorite music. That's okay. So it's your choice. But these are some ideas to help you if you need some ideas. So now that's the end of my instructions. Now I'm just going to read you the very first page of my letter. Okay? You can keep reading on your own. Page 1. Dear students, hi. I'm excited to be your teacher this year and to get to know you all. I'm writing this letter to introduce myself a little. Maybe we won't get to meet in person yet. In the meantime, I want to start to learn about you, so I can't wait to read all your letters soon. Let me introduce myself and tell you a little about who I am. First of all, I'm not really from California. I mean, I've lived here for 6 years, but I didn't grow up here. I grew up in a place called Brooklyn. It's part of New York City. In my life, I have lived in 3 places so far: Brooklyn and New York for 30 years, Nicaragua, it's a country in Central America. I lived there for 3 years, and Oakland, California for 6 years. Woohoo! Go Oakland! New York City and Oakland are very different places. Sometimes they feel like 2 different countries. People talk differently, eat differently, walk differently, dress differently, totally different cultures. But they're both places in America. Maybe in your country, there are very different places too. I don't know. I speak English, my native language, Spanish, thanks to the wonderful and patient people of Nicaragua, and I used to speak some Vietnamese, but I forgot it because I had no one to practice with. Now I'm going to stop there. I'm on page 2, about halfway down, and you can continue reading my introduction letter online. It's posted on Google Classroom, and enjoy it. It's 6 pages, so I'm not going to read the whole thing right now. And then later, when you're done writing your letter, watch the video about how to post a letter in the United States. Okay, bye. Welcome to 11th grade English class.